The world stands at a crossroads where economic power, political influence, and technology are merging to reshape the global order. Over the past few decades, globalization has taken trade, investment, and technological exchange to unprecedented levels. However, the current era is witnessing a dramatic shift. Trade wars, geopolitical tensions, and energy crises have plunged the world into a new phase of uncertainty. This article examines 12 critical factors that will determine the direction of the global economy in the years ahead. 1. Competition among global powers. The economic and political rivalry between the United States, China, the European Union, and Russia is intensifying. China is expanding its influence through the Belt and Road Initiative, investing in infrastructure across continents. The U.S. is strengthening trade and defense agreements with allies, while Russia is leveraging energy exports to maintain its influence. Europe, on the other hand, is focusing heavily on building a sustainable green economy. 2. Regional economic impacts. In Asia, countries like India, Vietnam, and Indonesia are emerging as major economic players. Africa is attracting investors due to its oil reserves and mineral wealth, while Latin America is struggling with political instability that hampers economic growth. 3. The currency wars. The US dollar has long been the backbone of the global economy, but currencies like the Chinese yuan and the euro are gaining traction in international transactions. Cryptocurrencies are also challenging the traditional financial system, though their volatility keeps many investors cautious. 4. Oil and energy politics. OPEC+ production decisions have a direct impact on global oil prices. While renewable energy projects are growing rapidly, the world remains heavily dependent on fossil fuels. Europe has sought to reduce its reliance on Russian gas by finding alternative supply chains, reshaping energy geopolitics. 5. The inflation crisis. Inflation is hitting consumers worldwide. In developed nations, it is driven by energy and food costs, while in developing countries, currency devaluation and rising import prices are exacerbating the situation. Central banks are raising interest rates, but this brings its own set of challenges. 6. The changing job market. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation are replacing human labor in many industries. While productivity is increasing, so too is unemployment in traditional sectors. The demand for tech-based skills is rising, forcing workers to adapt to entirely new professional landscapes. 7. Trade alliances and agreements. Economic blocs are playing a bigger role in shaping trade. The RCEP in Asia-Pacific, the USMCA in North America, and the European Union are examples of regional alliances that boost trade but can also pressure smaller economies into compliance with larger powers' agendas. 8. The rise of the digital economy. E-commerce, fintech, and virtual workspaces are transforming business practices. Digital payment systems are spreading rapidly, giving even small businesses access to global markets. Companies that fail to adapt to this digital transformation risk being left behind. 9. Changes in agricultural economics. Climate change is affecting crop yields and threatening food security worldwide. Agri-tech solutions, smart farming techniques, and genetically improved crops are being developed to address these challenges. However, uneven access to technology leaves some regions vulnerable. 10. The impact of environmental policies. Carbon taxes, renewable energy investments, and sustainability projects are now integral to economic policy. Businesses are under pressure to adopt eco-friendly technologies, as both consumers and investors increasingly favor companies with strong environmental credentials. 11. The global debt crisis. Developing countries face rapidly rising external debt. While the IMF and World Bank provide loans and economic reforms, strict conditions often lead to social unrest and slow domestic growth. Debt restructuring is becoming a central issue for many nations. 12. Future scenarios. The next decade of the global economy will depend on how major powers address trade disputes, environmental challenges, and technological disruptions. The winners will be those nations that are tech-savvy, environmentally sustainable, and resilient in the face of crises.